Hi, this is PR Sundar. Welcome to Pre-Market Report sponsored by taxbuddy.com. Yesterday, we opened around 20-day moving average. Market took support. Market went up. Around 12:30, 12:45, one selling came. Then again, short covering came. And Nifty closed very near to 16,500, 16,485, I remember, Nifty future. But that was a very huge short covering rally. But nobody could understand why there was such a big short covering when the global cues were really not good. European markets were slightly down and US futures were almost flat. But however, this kind of thing happens ahead of the bigger events. Ahead of the bigger events, traders do not like to carry positions. But I thought that would happen today because the bigger event, the US inflation data, which will be out today evening 6 p.m. And what happened yesterday in the US market? Same thing. Today, before US market opens, the inflation data will be out. And so people were so scared and so they started selling. In the last 1 hour, the Dow fell nearly 400 points and total is about 650 points. So 650 points and then last 1 hour 400 point is a big selling. So what happens usually, even the bigger people, and they ahead of the bigger event, if something happens, like tomorrow if the market go for down circuit or 5% fall, 4% fall, so what they will do, they will just sell the shares, and then if nothing happens, so the next day they will buy back again. But then again, if the inflation is very bad, the market may gap down 2%, 3%, 4%, anything. But if the inflation data is good, there might not be huge gap up, or even if there is a huge gap up, there may be some kind of a profit booking, so they can buy back the shares again. So even in futures and options, there are many traders who exit all the positions and re-enter the next day because they do not want to carry the huge risk over the weekend. And if something goes wrong tonight, I always say, if you make a mistake any day, you just lose only 1 day sleep. But if you make a mistake on Friday, you lose 3 days of sleep. And because market opens on Monday only. So SGX Nifty is looking very weird, and SGX Nifty hit a low of 16,203. That's almost 300 points lower than yesterday's closing. And SGX Nifty is reacting much more than any other Asian markets, or for that matter, any other market in the world. And it is reacting more than the US markets. Even the US market did not fall 2%, and we are falling 2%. So why there is so much of a panic? And that probably, we can see from the open interest. Yesterday, the market shot up so much, but despite that, FII's long short position, the short position increased from 75% to 76%. The long position has come down from 25% to 24%. This one I'm talking about index futures. When a market seeing a short covering and Nifty shooting up more than 200 points, and look at the Bank Nifty shot up how much? In the last 1 hour, I think 200, 300 point up. But despite all these things, and FIAs are increasing their short position. So that is, so the FIAs are outrightly having a negative opinion about our market in the short term. So anyway, things can change after the US inflation data. So in US today they are expecting inflation data around 8.3%. But if anything below that comes, then they can say the worst is over, the markets can stabilize, or even market can even gap up 2% also. 2%, 3%, anything, depending upon how good is the inflation. But at the same time, if the inflation come at 8.3 or let us say for the worst case 8.4, there can be huge gap down of 2 to 3%. So Monday opening itself is going to be very bad or very good for us, whereas the US markets will be reacting tonight itself. So this US inflation data is bringing all kinds of jitterness. And look at the US markets. Out of the 11 weeks, Dow is down for 10 weeks. I am assuming that today it is not going to be up more than 2% because for this week, Dow is down 2%. So out of the last 11 weeks, 10 weeks Dow is down. And at least last 1 week, though US markets were going up some days, coming down some days, but the VIX did not shoot up. But yesterday, what happened? US VIX shot up nearly 9%. So I think today, with the huge gap down here also, I think VIX is likely to shoot up anywhere from 5 to 10%. And the premiums are going to shoot up like this. In fact, for the next week options, that is means the current week options, I checked the premiums were too low, and because the VIX, it has come down below 20, it was consistently VIX is below 20. The premiums were too low, but today the premiums may shoot up. All in all, now negative sentiment continues, except one day of short covering yesterday, and that short covering came because first time in the last few days, domestic institutions have bought slightly more than what FIAs have sold, plus people sold huge number of call options expecting the bearishness. So when the market went up, so these people had to run for cover. So again now I told you we will be back to square, but I did not think that back to square will be at this so low level, below yesterday's low. So yesterday also opening was below day before yesterday's low, and today also opening is likely to be uh, lower than yesterday's low. So technically, so these are all very very bearish signs. So anyway, even though I'm bearish, I will not be taking any bearish bet. I will wait for this US inflation data to get out, and only Monday it is good to take some positions. So until then, just keep watching the all that drama of huge gap up, huge gap down, huge intraday moves like that. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for watching.